Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon. So, as of now, we are not going into the auditory and visual sensation. It was in the deleted portion. Okay, so if we need to learn that topic, I'll let you know. But as of now, no need. So, we'll move on to the next portion, attentional processes. Page number 93. Attentional processes. Attentional processes. So in the previous section, we talked about sensation. Now we're moving on to the attention part, and finally we'll be dealing with perception. These are the three main concepts in the chapter. Okay, sensation, attention, and perception. All right. So what do you think attention is? What all do you know about attention? What are other things related to attention? Yes.
Attendance means that attending to the things.
Attention means attending to the things.
In attendance means that in the students, I see that attending the class and capturing the topics from the teacher.
Okay. Then
Ma'am, what was the question?
we have reached term 2 and you're still with the same dialogue. The question was, what do you mean by attention? And what do you know about attention? Or do you know about anything related to attention?
Ma'am, is it like the mental presence of someone in the environment?
Mental presence of someone in the environment. Rather philosophical. Then, you reading books or watching series too much these days, Kevin?
Too much, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes, too much.
yes, too much. Then, anything else that you know about attention? What is the first thing that came into your mind when you heard the word attention?
Focus.
Huh?
Focus.
Focus. Okay.
Someone listening to you,
Someone listening to you.
looking at you.
Mm-hmm. Then, any other inputs? Is it? Okay.
Alert to someone
Huh?
that beating people.
Beating? What?
Alert.
Alert. Okay. Is alert and attention the same? Alertness and attention? Vigilance? All the same? Yes. Suppose if a group of 5 individuals, including you, are walking in the middle of the forest, and one among the tribal people are coming to you and telling, please be careful, please be alert. There is a very dangerous tiger in the locality. We have seen that 2 days back, and it might come and attack you. Will you be attending to each and everything, or will you be alert?
Just alert.
Alert. So that means you're telling that there is a difference. Indirectly, you're telling me that there is a difference between alertness and attention. Might be, might not be. It might rain, might not rain. Let's see. Okay, so attentional process. In the previous section, we have discussed some sensory modalities that help us in collecting information from the external world and also from our internal system. A large number of stimuli impinge upon our sense organs simultaneously, but we do not notice all of them at the same time. That's right, isn't it? We get a lot of information and inputs from various sensory modalities from the environment as well as from our internal environment. But we don't listen or we don't attend to each and every stimuli of them. We attend to the things that we are interested in or that are high in priority for us, that are important or significant for us. Okay. For example, when you enter your classroom, you encounter several things in it, such as doors, walls, windows, paintings on walls, tables, chairs, students, school bags, water bottles, and so on. Really focus only on one or two of them at one time. The process through which certain stimuli are selected from a group of others is generally referred to as attention. Please underline that sentence. The process through which certain stimuli are selected from a group of others is generally referred to as attention. When there is a group dance happening on stage, suppose if it is of 10 members and one member who's standing in the center is doing a different step. This person is okay. So we were talking about the group dance. And this person who's standing in the center is losing the rhythm. And also this person forgot the steps, most of the steps. So we'll be attending to this person, isn't it? Our focus of attention will be this person. And the rest of the participants in the group, we won't be minding so much, isn't it? Yeah. So that is basically attention. Attention means we focus our again attention on a particular, we select a particular stimulus than or a group of stimulus than the others in our environment. That happens in attention. We'll see different types of attention, what are the factors affecting them, the theories of different types of attention and so on in the coming portion. Okay. Then at this point, it may be noted that besides selection, attention also refers to several other properties like alertness, concentration, and search. Underline. They are like the properties of attention. They are not exactly, we cannot say that they are exactly attention. We cannot say that they are entirely different from attention. It's like a property of attention or a kind of attention. Not kinds exactly, but the quality or property or feature of attention. Then what is alertness? Alertness refers to an individual's readiness to deal with stimuli that appear before her or him. Which means again, when I talked about the tiger's example, there we are showing alertness, isn't it? We are being alert about the animal. We have that readiness in us. We are ready to face it, or we are preparing ourselves to face it. That's why alertness is said to be readiness of individuals. So alertness refers to an individual's readiness to deal with stimuli that appear before her or him. Then what is the next one? Now there is an example, I think. While participating in a race in your school, you might have seen the participants on the starting line in an alert state, waiting for the whistle to blow in order to run. Isn't it? They are waiting for something. They are preparing themselves for something. And the stimulus that they will be alert about is the whistle, the blow of the whistle. Okay. Then next one is concentration. Concentration refers to focusing of awareness on certain specific objects while excluding others for the moment. That is, when you're writing your examination, you might hear lots of sounds in the background. Construction work might be there. Some of your friends might be murmuring. Some of your teachers might be talking to each other. Then alarm sounds might come from watches. or the school bell might ring in the background, and so on. But what you do is you concentrate on what you're doing at that particular moment. It's about that time. Okay. For the whole day, you won't be concentrating on the exam, isn't it? Depending on your need, depending on your purpose, you'll be focusing your attention for a period of time on a particular stimulus. That is concentration. For example, in the classroom, a student concentrates on the teacher's lecture and ignores all sorts of noises coming from different corners of the school. In search, that is the third one, search. In search, an observer looks for some specified subset of objects among a set of objects. Like, usually when we are searching for something, we'll have a particular purpose, isn't it? And we'll be searching for only that particular thing at that moment. That is basically search, the usual search that we all do. For example, when you go to fetch your younger sister and brother from the school, you just look for them among innumerable boys and girls. There'll be a lot of students, lot of children in the playground or in the front of the school. But you'll be searching particularly for your younger brother or sister, or maybe your friend, or maybe your parents, anyone in a crowd. So that means you're searching for them. You have a particular stimulus for which you are focusing your attention for. Okay. Then attention in this sense refers to, all these activities require some kind of effort on the part of people. Attention in this sense refers to effort allocation. Underline that sentence. Sometimes questions might come like this. Attention in this sense refers to effort allocation. Elaborate. So you should be writing about these three features. Okay, and you can write that attention in all these cases requires some kind of effort from the observer or the person who is attending. That is why attention is referred to as this effort allocation. Effort allocation means we allocate our efforts. You have heard about resource allocation, isn't it? The resources are distributed evenly. Just like that, our effort is also distributed, allocated, located in each of the activity that we do. That's why attention is called or referred to as effort allocation. Then, attention has a focus as well as a fringe. Excuse me. Yeah. Attention has a focus as well as a fringe. For that, I'll show you a picture. Before that, Emmeline, can you read that paragraph? Just listen carefully.
When the field of awareness is centered on a particular object or event, it is called focus or the focal point of attention. On a contract, when an object or an event are always from the center of awareness and only eventually aware of them, they are said to be at a range of attention.
Just a minute. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes, okay. This is the basic structure. So what happens here is wherever you're focusing your attention or wherever you want your attention to be focused, that area forms the focus. As the name suggests, it's a focus area. Then the blurred area where your focus of attention is not there, that forms the fringe, this area. Okay, and the limit of your attention, that forms the margin. Like when you're reading a textbook, that is the image given in the picture also. When you're reading a textbook or a storybook or novel or whatever, you are focusing each word by word, isn't it? Or maybe a small group of words together. So that will be your focus of attention. And then the words in the background will form the fringe, and the limit of your vision and your attention, that will be the margin. That forms the margin. Okay, you cannot attend to the things happening on the back side, isn't it? Like when you're looking at the book and reading, or beyond the book, you cannot focus your attention. Obviously, you can hear something, but about the vision, when you're talking about the vision sensation, visual sensation, obviously you cannot. So that is your limit. That forms your limit. So anything inside the limit where you're focusing, that is a focus. Where it is blurred or where you cannot focus your attention properly, that forms the fringe area. Okay, and this focus and fringe keeps on changing. Like when you're reading a textbook from left side to right side, this keeps on changing. The focus and the fringe keeps on changing. Okay, that is just a physical representation of this attention that's given in that paragraph. Then we move on to the next part, that is types and kinds of attention. Attention has been classified in a number of ways. A process-oriented view divides it into two types. Underline that, process-oriented view. Process-oriented views, it's two types, selective and sustained attention. So based on the process that we are engaging in, we divide it into selective attention, sustained attention. What do you mean by selection? Again, we pick up something, isn't it? We select something, we make our choices. But sustained attention, what do you mean by sustain? Sustaining. When you sing songs, at the end of the song, the humming will be sustained, isn't it? Which means it lasts for a few seconds more to mark its ending. Here, it's not about the ending, but sustain means to maintain your attention for a period of time. That is sustained attention. Selective attention means, again, like basic attention. We are selecting some stimulus and attending to that, apart from the rest of the stimulus. It's a basic concept. Okay. So we briefly discuss the main features of these types of attention. Sometimes we can also attend to two different things at the same time. When this happens, it is called divided attention. Box 5.2 describes when and how the division of attention is possible. Like we talk about multitasking, isn't it? There we cannot give our complete attention to each and every task that we do. That's why it is said that we shouldn't use mobile phones and rest of the stuff while we are driving. That's because the attention gets divided. We cannot equally, obviously we can give equal attention to both, but the whole attention will be divided. If the attention is 100%, then only 50% to this and 50% to this will be given. If you're attending to even more things, we are talking to the people in the car, we are using mobile phone, and then we are driving. Obviously, only 1/3 of the 100% will be given for each. Understood? That is called divided attention. Clear? We'll be talking more about this. Before that, we'll watch a video and come. And it's an activity, so listen carefully and just do as it is instructed in the video. You'll see a bit of instructions. Do as they say. Okay. And it's a bit of numericals and counting, and also that's why I told you listen, attend carefully. Fine. That video, it's a very classic and very famous experiment for selective attention. What happens is we don't notice that. Like when we were studying psychology, this was played again, and most of us, we were very obedient to the teachers. Okay, and as instructed, we just counted the number of passes from the white t-shirt people, and we got different numbers, and some of us were very happy that we got the correct number of passes. And finally, when the video was played again and she instructed to see at the center of the screen, then only we saw this. Okay, that's why I specifically told you focus on, maybe because of the video also and network issue, we have our limitations. So this is what happens. So selective attention, I think in the coming classes, we'll discuss more about it. We have, so here what happened? Why did I show this video? The attention is supposed to be selective and you did divided attention, I would say. Anyways, we'll be talking about the factors affecting selective attention and divided attention. Sorry, not divided, sustained attention. We'll be learning about the theories of selective attention also in the coming classes. Okay, I'll take the attendance and leave. Till what time is the class?
250.
250. Okay, wait. Just a minute. Okay. Abdul? Present. Abhinav? Alina Jason? Lina Varghese?
Present, ma'am.
Devika?
Present, ma'am.
Emmeline?
Yes, ma'am.
Eva?
Present, ma'am.
Smalavika? Present. Mary is present. Meryl? Present. Rose? Shreya? Present. Abhiram?
Present, ma'am.
Abhijit? Abhilash?
Present.
Amal Roshan?
Present, ma'am.
Vazuri? Kevin?
Present, ma'am.
Omar?
Present, ma'am.
Sanam? Chandra? Sanjana absent. Nestle? Absent. Okay. Shall we see the factors affecting selective attention? You have 8 minutes, no? Okay. So selective attention, it is concerned mainly with the selection of a limited number of stimuli or objects from a large number of stimuli, as we discussed before. Then we have already indicated that a perceptual system has a limited capacity to receive and process information. This means that it can deal only with a few stimuli at a given moment of time. The question is, which of those stimuli will get selected and processed? Psychologists have identified a number of factors that determine the selection of stimuli. What do you think would be the factors affecting selective attention? What all things would grab your attention? From daily life, you can tell me the points.
Ma'am, the surrounding environment.
What from the surrounding environment is likely to grab your attention? That's the question.
Animals.
Animals.
Phone.
Huh?
Ma'am, phone.
Phone.
Oh.
Okay.
Sometimes I am observing lightning to get the
Superpower? I'm asking what are the features of these things that
sound,
grab your attention?
sounds
Huh?
and peoples.
I'm not asking about a specific category of things. I'm asking about their features, their qualities,
Something
characteristics.
that's out of place.
Huh?
Something that's out of place or out of order.
Out of place or out of order. Yes. If I wear my earring on my hair, wouldn't that grab your attention? Weird, yes, but wouldn't that grab your attention? Yes. Then
One person torn his shirt, we will
shirt is torn. Okay. Again, unusual things grab your attention. Then think. That's all.
Ma'am, because of in online class, notifications.
In online class?
Notifications.
Okay. In the device, you see notifications. So something moving grabs your attention, isn't it? Like when
Yes.
it's very still, everything is very still around you, and if there is something that's moving, that
But
grabs your attention. When you, yes,
it means that different things, it is not in a correct order. We all the people will observe that.
okay. When you're on the road, if there is a super bike moving very fast in swift manner, you would notice it, isn't it? Even if you hate super bikes, you would notice it. It would grab your attention. Yes. Then,
when there's something new in the environment or
Yes.
something that used to be is not there anymore.
Yes, yes, yes. Absence is something that you're very much used to. And if something new is present in front of you, like, yeah, a new student in class, he or she would grab everybody's attention. Then just like that, if one person is wearing, I mean, everybody is supposed to wear uniform, and one person is wearing color dress on that particular day. That will grab your attention. The colors, the brightness would grab your attention. Very much bright objects. Then things that are very much high in intensity, that also grabs your attention than the lower intensity ones. Then when we had a school reunion, what happened is all of us wore color dress except one student. He wore the school uniform and came. After years, we are meeting, and the fact is that he still fits into that. He wore the complete school uniform with the shirt, with the shoes, with the pants and everything. I wonder where my uniform is. Okay. Yeah. So novelty, that is one factor. Then intensity, brightness, all these things can grab your attention. Those are the factors that might influence your selective attention. Okay. And we'll see more factors. There are external factors and internal factors. We are dividing it into two categories, and we'll learn in the coming sections. Okay. So the next class probably will be learning about, learning more about factors affecting selective attention plus the theories of selective attention. Okay. Abhiram, you got bored? Stuck. Okay. Shall we wind up then? Yep. Yes. You still want to spend 2
Yes,
minutes
ma'am.
with me again?
No, ma'am.
No more. Thank you then. Bye.